Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for this channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. Yep, tonight we're going to have a good discussion about voters being thrown under the bus. And this is what we're dealing with. Anyway, it's going to be a good discussion. And I'm sure the trolls will be there and stuff, but whatever. Okay. But this stuff can't keep going on. Anyway, gotta wait for a few people to show up. So we'll sit there and chat for a few minutes anyway. Oh, today was a lot nicer. The heat finally broke. Finally. I mean, look I'm wearing a flannel tonight. This is what happens when it's always been in the upper 90s and low 800s for a couple weeks and stuff. You get a day where it's in the upper 70s all month. It feels like, oh, nice day. Right? July, middle of July, I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying it. So the dogs enjoyed it. The horses enjoyed it. Everybody enjoyed the cool day. See, nature will even supplies everything you need. Even a cool breeze when you finally need it, right? So gotta wait for a few more people to show up before we can start the discussion. Tonight's topic on us bad people who want the list to come out. Okay, well, why are you doing? All right, here we go. I'm back live. Anyway, I tell you what, YouTube and the games they play must mean I'm going to get more than one or two visitors to the stream. Anyway, but we're going to discuss what Trump has been saying about this Epstein list and what he said today. Okay, basically saying, that he don't want support of people that believe in the list. Okay, for him to sit there and think, hey, Guardian, how's it going? I'm glad to see you tonight. Okay. Now we got Trump. Okay, let's start with first he's saying it's made up by the Democrats like the Steele dossier, okay? I mean, you're going to insult our intelligence like that? This is something that was made up by the Democrats? Boy, it sounds like there's a lot of Michael Moore III. Hi. It sounds like there's lots of Democrats on that list, along with a lot of Republicans. But if it was a list made up from the Democrats, right, how come the Democrats ain't yelling and screaming that they want this list exposed? Okay? I don't understand it. Okay, the thing is, I know the truth, and I'm not going to listen to these people lie just because they're politicians and stuff. They're covering their ass. Okay, but now since we don't believe him, we're going to call him out on his lie and say, no, you're full of shit. Now he don't want our support. And then you sit there and say it's made up, right? Didn't you run on releasing the Epstein files? Wasn't Epstein arrested during your first time as president? And Bill Barr, I believe, was an attorney general. You had all this information, and then you go and run your next presidency on releasing the Epstein list, and then you say there's no list? It's a Democratic game that's being played? Are you kidding me? Now, I until he shows me he's not on the list, I believe he's on the list because he sure is acting guilty. Or he is sure. It's like he's the only one there that's got to convince everybody that the list doesn't exist. Like somebody put that responsibility on his shoulders. You got to convince everybody the list don't exist. We can't let this out. Putting that type of strain on him. That just tells me he's on it, because why would you sit there and put yourself through that type of abuse for a bunch of people that don't care about you if you're not on the list. Jizzy Maxwell said in the news recently she may say who's on the list. Yeah. Hey, Wolf, how's it going, Carol? Good to see you tonight. The thing is, they don't even have to release the list, people. All they got to do is start arresting people. Fuck releasing the list. Then they'll just sit there and say, well, we'll release the list. We gave you what you want. No, I want these people arrested, charged, and punished. So just start arresting these people. Eventually we'll figure out, oh, there's charges against them. This must have been the person on the list. Let us figure it out. You just start arresting them. I mean, I did a video 3.5 months ago why the Epstein list will never be released. And I went into the Saudi princes and all that, about how it bring down all these governments and create a power vacuum all over the world. But you know what? It's got to be exposed. You know, maybe these people should have done this shit. And if it's going to put us in the dark ages, well, eventually they're going to put us there anyway, right? At least it'll be easier to get out of the dark ages if these sons of bitches aren't around. They got punished. Okay? Time to close Disneyland down. Why? Because let's just say that they're extremely tolerant, aren't they? God, I wouldn't take my kids there. God knows what they're going to see, especially, you know, you come from a small town, you know, that doesn't normally see that big city stuff. That would traumatize children extremely a lot, okay? I mean, let's say you grow up in a town, you're in a town like I am, or grew up in a town like I did, where people are normal. Okay, kids see that, and all of a sudden you go to Disneyland, and all of a sudden they start seeing men in dresses and stuff, and they start looking at Dad and say, hey, Dad, what's up with this? Okay? And then, of course, you're not supposed to say anything bad about it. But anyway, let's get back to, then Trump's going to say he don't want our support. You know, we just want him to be truthful with us. So since he ain't going to be truthful with us, he don't want to play with us no more. I guess that's easy to say. See, this is all going to give us a Democratic Senate and House of Representatives in what, a year and a half? And in 3.5 years, we're going to have a Democratic president. This is what this is going to do. It's a Democratic ploy, but the Democrats don't seem to want it released either. Boy, they didn't have a problem with the Steele dossier being released now, did they? Heck, they were pushing that lie. They paid for it. I mean, what's the excuse going to be next week? Little green men? Just for them to expect us to believe that he did this all on his own. He never left his bedroom. He was continuously having sex with minors, nonstop. Had to have been, right? You know, they don't need a list. They got all these videos. Just start arresting the men and women that are on these videos. Right, Hillary Clinton? That's all they got to do. What kind of list do you need? I mean, cops wear body cams have videos of, you know, when they got arrest crimes or people take videos of crimes being done. Okay, that's all you need. It's not like you sit there, I mean, whatever. We all know it's a cover-up. And now Trump is just throwing the voters under the bus. He don't care about the people that put him there. I mean, I'm sorry, Trump, but you sat there and campaigned on the Epstein list. Like I heard a Democrat say today. And when I start agreeing with liberals, I know something screwed up. But he goes, all during the election, all you heard to sit there and Republicans sit there and talk about was the Epstein list, illegal immigration and stuff. And now that Trump's in office, you don't hear nothing about the Epstein list. So you do, like I say, it's the real Democrats, because their party got hijacked, the conservative Republicans, because their party got hijacked, and the independents in the middle. Okay? The one of us that we got brains and education. We raised children and didn't let our children lie to us. Okay? And you expect to convince us of this absolutely insane shit. I mean, this is something your 16-year-old doesn't even come home and try to tell you because it'd be so outlandish that they knew you wouldn't believe it. But see, this is what every politician does. The old line in the sand. Oh, you believe the lists exist? You're on the other side. Any way for him to get voted in office. The thing is, we just handed it to the frickin' Democrats. Handed it to them. And the thing is, they don't even have to bitch about it. The Democrats get their way and don't have to say a frickin' thing. All these children in this country that disappear. Without a trace. Just gone. What do you think has happened to half of them? Except I remember that story from, it could have been 10, 12, I don't know how many years ago, from this British couple, and I think they were in Spain or something, in Portugal on vacation. And their 5 or 6-year-old girl got snatched, and they're trying to blame them. You know why I think they were doing that? Because they knew who really did it, and they didn't want to focus attention on that. Where did that little girl go? I don't know. Pretty obvious to me. Victims. God, like I say, if that would have happened to my girls, I'd have been, the movie The Marine. That would have been me on overdrive. Beyond belief. I'll put up with that shit. You don't hurt kids, and I'm definitely not going to let you hurt mine. Makes you wonder about everything we've ever heard. Yeah, I mean, everything's a lie. And people are like, well, people are waking up to how screwed up the world could become. And it's like, well, yeah, it's not right that he hides it because this may happen. Fuck it, it don't matter. If you're a prepper, you prepare and stuff, bring it on. I mean, how the hell can we live in a society when tomorrow's just going to bring these insane, sadistic creeps, criminals, murderers, pieces of shit, still get to run the streets tomorrow? What kind of country do we have? And then Trump wants to sit there and draw a line in the sand. Whatever, Mr. Trump. Like I said, I can't even call him President Trump no more because he said he don't want my support. So he basically told me, kiss my ass. That's what Donald Trump told me, kiss my ass. Is that how anybody else feels? Oh, I know people, the Democrats are just having a lovely time with it. This is what you get for voting for Trump. Ha, ha, ha. What the hell do you think you'd have for Kamala Harris? You're a fucking socialist utopia? You think that'd be any easier for me? Hell no, it'd be worse. Do you think she would have released the list? Hell no. Like I said, in the end, we will not know what the truth and what isn't. All I can say is, Amanda, stick to your morals and stick to your senses. Your eyes and your ears, and you can figure it out, but there's so many different parts of the truth. Depending on what news station you get, depends on what part of the truth you get, or what their version of the truth is, or how their panel's opinions should shape your truth, okay? It doesn't matter, okay? This is beyond bullshit. We want the list released. Fuck the list released. We want these people arrested, brought to court, brought to justice, do the walk of shame. Who's ever on it? I guess if all our politicians are on the son of a bitch, I guess it's time for the military to take over, or even better. It's time for the American citizen, the one who has all the authority in this country, to take a goddamn country back. But anyway, he's going to sit there and do that, just like when George Bush in the Gulf War, basically said, if you're not on my side, you're on the other side. Well, I'm on the other side of the line then, buddy. I love that when the president does that. Unification, right? Anyway, as long as there's a few people here, this channel will never ask for money or donations, sell anything. But if you want to support the channel, hit the thumbs up and subscribe and the bell notification. I'd appreciate that. Help this channel grow. Because it looks like censorship is going to come down hard on everybody. Even the liberals that believe that this list should be released and they're on their social media platform expressing their opinion, they're going to start finding out what shadow banning and censorship is. And this is why I know they're all on the same goddamn side. You sit there and bring up the E-list and criticize Trump or the Republicans or the administration in any way now. When's the last time in the last couple of weeks you heard the mainstream media say something bad about Trump? I'm sorry, you were betrayed. Dems don't hate you. We want to work together. That's what this channel's about. Bringing people together on both sides. So we don't have to vote for the lesser of two evils no more. Because we're all Americans. We're all in this sinking ship together. Okay? Tell me, what wing of this bird is helping any American? I mean, they spend our money out of control beyond belief. Both sides. We're still in Ukraine, giving them more weapons, more money. It's just going to show you that the president isn't really in control. Okay? He's just a puppet. And I'm really the puppet. And the people behind the scenes that really don't give a shit about us. The people that make the president of the United States look like a little ant. Those people are running the whole gig, okay? And somehow they got to Trump, and he's just doing... Why don't the liberals and Democrats have to bitch? Because he's being a better Democratic president than he is a Republican president. But then again, he was a Democrat before a Republican. But, the Democrats don't realize that Trump's going to help them out better than Kamala Harris ever would have. Oh, my God, what a crazy-ass word, like say. Just another video where I'm saying, has the human race gone insane? Has it? Or am I just... they say if a person's crazy, last thing they'll admit they're crazy. Well, then, living in the twilight zone like we are here, over $37 trillion in debt and keeps growing bigger. No list. I still can't get over that. And now he's going to sit there and draw a line in the sand and say, hey, voters, I don't even want your support no more if you think there's a list. Like I say, fuck the list. Start arresting people. We'll figure out that they're on the list. Those people are going to be walking the streets still tomorrow and the next day and the day after that and the day after that, never having to be worried about being arrested. Do you think that's going to stop them from doing what they're doing? Or is it going to embolden them to get even worse? What do you think? Of course, it's going to embolden them. And more children are going to suffer. So hopefully nobody that agrees with this shit loses their kid all of a sudden and never sees them again. Anyway, bunch of shit. Bunch of shit. This is what you get from politicians. Okay? I never understood why Trump wanted to be a politician. That's what, and the thing is, he what was it, 2008, he played with running for president, got to the top of the heap and dropped out before the primaries or whatever. And then in 2012, he did the same shit. And in 2016, I thought he was going to do the same shit too, but he stayed in. But whatever. But, for him to think that the average person with an IQ of over 40 is going to buy this shit, he's out of his mind. I lost my job because of tariffs. Trump hurt me. Well, there's a lot of people that are going to be hurt. I mean, we have World War III with Russia because we're given whatever weapons Ukraine wants to them for them to use however they want. Nuclear weapons in this country might be hurting a few people. This is what happens when you got the lesser of two evils to pick from. I mean, out of a country of 350 million people, the best we got is Trump and Harris. And Harris wasn't even nominated. She was appointed. See, I always say we need two strong parties in this country, two moral strong parties, because they keep the other party in check. Two moral strong parties that follow the Constitution, like JFK and I'm not going to say Ronald Reagan. I'm going to say Eisenhower. Two strong parties like that. Back when I was growing up and you had an election, nobody cared how you voted the next day. Everybody went to work and got along, went to school, whatever. It wasn't, oh my God, I don't even want to have Thanksgiving dinner with you no more. I always say, September 12th, 2001, in this country, we all bonded together, no matter what your color was, whether what your race was, no matter what you did in your bedroom. Nothing mattered. No matter what your political affiliation was, we're all Americans. And 24 years later, we want to shoot each other and kill each other. Is it because of what your neighbor did that's happened, or because of what your politician did? Okay, of course, your politician. So that's the one you need to hate. If you want to hate somebody. Get with your neighbor and form a... When people realize they're all in this sinking ship together, but when the rats start leaving the ship and they'll start flying off to New Zealand and all this crap, and the foreigners really got to deal with them, it's too late for us. Unless you're a prepper. Voters decided the politicians. I feel like I got kicked in the gut. It's bad enough that the liberals and Democrats just laughing their asses off at us. And it sucks when a liberal, even in the slightest way, can tell you, I told you so. But you can't take it away from them, can you? But, I like to say, you Democrat voters, did you get your college loans forgiven? Did that ever happen? Why you voted for the Democrats to get your college loans forgiven? Did you get that? I'm a liberal and don't hate you at all. Well, I appreciate it. I don't hate people either. Christ, in the Marine Corps, I had to deal with enough hate. I want to sit there and get along. Just remember, we're Americans. And the thing is, as Americans, we got this thing called the Constitution. And we are a constitutional republic, not a democracy. And when this country's government gets back to realizing what type of government we have and start obeying the Constitution, then our country will start getting better. It'll become fair again and free. Instead of this group needs special privileges or that group needs special privileges. Why? Just exercise your rights. I realize we don't have the same rights we did the day after the Constitution was ratified, but and they've been chopping away at it ever since. But we do have rights, okay? I would love to see a government back the way it was in 1789. That would be so cool with the same type of morality. But like I told last time I live streamed, the Constitution only passed by 2 votes, and the people that were against the Constitution started undermining the Constitution the day after it was ratified. And this is how much success they've had in the last 249 years. Okay? I wouldn't have any rights then. Why wouldn't you have rights in 1789? Are you an African American? If you're an African American, see, this is the thing that people don't understand. There were founding fathers that wanted to get rid of women. Oh, I see. I tell you what. You're going to tell me in 1789 there weren't some women that ruled the house even though they couldn't vote? I've been married 3 times. I'm not going to believe that for a second. Even in the Indian culture, the woman ruled the teepee, okay? So anyway, but I understand. It wasn't perfect. But we made it better. We amended it when it needed to be amended. But look at what women's suffrage has turned into. You got men competing in women's sports. I don't think that's what they had in mind, was to be equal with men, but different. There's still women. Patty B, you could have a nice rifle in your hands. Voting is critical. Yeah, but for what? The lesser of 2 evils. See, this is the thing. We're just voting in corruption. It don't matter what side. When I hear a politician talk about a constitutional republic that we have, not a democracy, okay? That's step number 1. Until then, I will not vote for anybody no more that says the word democracy because they don't understand what form of government we have. There's lots of democracies around the world. North Korea is one of them. Go to it. See how you like a democracy. Constitutional republic handcuffs our government and gives the rights to the people, freedom to the people, the power, the authority to the people. In a democracy, the people give that up to a few people in Washington, D.C. And for 4 years, you're the wolf, and for 4 years, you're the sheep. And the wolves, no matter what side they're on, do the same goddamn shit. Anyway. But anyway, Second Amendment, yep. Well, that's part of the whole deal. Like I say, the founding fathers knew eventually what they created was going to have to be, I don't want to destroy, but restored, okay, to its original form. And I'm not talking women's suffrage and blacks. No. We got past that. I'm talking all men being free. Okay? But we need 4 secretaries for the president. It needs to get back to the way it was, with the improvements that we made towards everybody being equal, okay? But laws need to be enforced. I mean, all they got to do is follow the Constitution now. So, and stop trying to change the rules in their favor when they're in charge. I'm so tired of that. You know, like the Republicans trying to find a way so Donald Trump can run in 2028, coming up with trying to change rules and stuff for all this shit. Are you kidding me? Yes, Patty, and women. I believe behind every strong man is a stronger woman. I firmly believe that. Okay? In nature, okay? In a horse herd, who rules, the stallion or the mare? The mare does. Okay? In lots of places in the world, women rule. But, you know, I'm not going to say women are weak, that's for sure. So that's my philosophy on that. He's trying to redirect my statement. Thanks for your support. You lost me there, buddy. We were just talking about the Constitution, how it wasn't perfect, or the Constitution of the United States wasn't perfect at first, because like I say, back when they ratified the Constitution, it was to create a country, okay? They had to create a country, and some things had to be added, some things had to be taken out, but the main thing was to create a country. And that's what they did. You know, they didn't like slavery. A lot of the people dealing with the Constitution didn't like slavery. Well, that's why he had the 3/5 clause. But they couldn't sit there and say no slavery, because in the South would have said, screw this, we're not going to become a country. And slavery was a bad thing for both whites and blacks who were involved. Some bitch, you got people in Africa selling their own people to whites who just want to get rich and come. But let's not forget, I'm Irish. It's not like we were very high on the totem pole either now, were we? So anyway, but so Trump's going to sit there and kick us on the other side of the line. Anyway, this, like I made the video last night, I really think that this could be the straw that broke the camel's back. Like you say, the Civil War started, and all the states that were seceding from the Union started because Abraham Lincoln was elected president, okay? They had 3 people running for president in 1860. The South Democrat, the Northern Democrat, and Abraham Lincoln, the first Republican. And he never got a majority of the vote. By the way, you know, the South had it, and that's what started this whole thing. So is this Epstein list going to be the catalyst for people finally see that it's 2 wings of the same bird? And that bird consumes the same amount of feed. And it doesn't care feeding off the people. And now they're going to sit there and protect their little club. This is the thing. Trump is guilty now because he's protecting it. That is a crime. Covering it up is a crime. So now he is guilty of a crime, even if he's not on the list. But then again, if they don't get investigated or charged, I guess they're free to go, right? I tell you what, everybody in this country needs to know they're not above the law. But, we all know why it's not going to get released. We all know why these people will never get arrested. For one thing, there's not enough jails to hold them all. But can you see the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, King Charles, and all his kids? And, Macron, the idiot, who was the idiot in Canada? Trudeau? You name them. All in jail? I mean, something that's 1,000 times or 10,000 times bigger than the Nuremberg trials? And then the power vacuum it's going to create in all these countries? People wanted to take over and stuff. I realize the danger to it. But I also can see the danger if we don't do something about it. Because the evil will just get stronger and more deceptive. 34 felonies for fraud and tax evasion was a clue. What would happen to us if we committed tax fraud? You know what? I think a lot of that was made up. Like Lavrenti Beria, Stalin's chief of his secret police said, "Show me the man and I'll show you the crime." So, anyway, whatever, okay? So all you Democrats and liberals can say, ha ha, you Republicans. But, I said before the election we needed a goddamn war to settle this shit. But I tell you what, I'm not going to get lied to no more. And they sit there and want to, there's no list, and they're not subject to the law. I follow the 10 Commandments. I don't break the speed limit. I have insurance and all this shit. Do everything legal. Not according to the Constitution, but according to all these agencies that come up with these regulations. Every time there's a new regulation created, it just costs the American citizen more freaking money. But this is beyond bullshit. To me, there is no law in this country. We're all on everybody's good behavior now. Because these people are sadistic, very evil, and have done some heinous, some absolutely terrible things to children. And they're going to get away with it. Anyway, this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. Yep. Donald Trump, it's all made up. It's a Democratic thing made up, even though the Democrats on the list. Everybody knows that Bill and Hillary on the list, But don't worry, they made it up. Nothing to see here. Yep, the files are on my desk. Is there something in the Washington, D.C. air? Are they like chemtrailing the hell out of that area or something that dumbs down anybody that goes there? And they think everybody going to believe everything they say? I mean, we're getting past a point now where just because the government says it's the truth, everybody's kind of shying away from that shit. And we're all seeing, oh my God. Like I say, where's the Democratic outrage on this? If this is a Democratic made-up bullshit story, then how come they're not pushing it like the Steele dossier? Anyway, I think Bill and Trump are on the list. I don't care who they're trying. Jail them. Yeah, it's our children. Of course, jail them. Beyond jail. You can say all the kids that have disappeared. Hundreds of thousands of children that have disappeared. Millions all over the world. There's some parents that could actually have closure. They could protect these criminals. But anyway, yeah, we're everybody in today's world is finding out what a real politician is. And for some reason, the devil's got control of all those people in DC, and they don't give a rat's ass about us. This list needs to be released. Well, if it don't be released, like I say, I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay? Lincoln got elected in November. Shooting in the Civil War didn't start till April. That's 6 months. And this is not going away. And now there's people like Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to talk about, I have faith in Washington and the people I voted for. Are you fucking kidding me? So you're basically saying, and I'm brain dead. So instead of you going to a college and schooling these stupid young 20-year-old liberals, Charlie Kirk, like you do so well, you're being schooled by a bunch of lying fucking pedophiles. Good job. You know, all you social media gurus that, you know, like Dan Banjo, whatever his name is, that had that big podcast and stuff. I mean, I expect when you get out of the FBI for people to come back to that. You're a stooge. Dan Bongino, or whatever his fucking name is. Or Kash Patel, okay? I love it every administration. You get all these weird names you get to remember for 4 years, like Pete Buttigieg. Breastfeeds a fucking baby. I'm sorry, chest feeds a baby. Can you imagine how bad that kid's going to get teased in school? And don't worry, the liberals are proud of that. Anyway, but Trump is just showing he's just like them. There's no difference. And we're just supposed to swallow it. Shut up! Quit talking about it. Oh, it's just something the Democrats made up. Like the Steele dossier. How fucking stupid is he? I mean, this is going to go bad. You know, and, you know, he's getting asked about it every day because it's big news. Because people want to know the truth. People want to see these sons of bitches punished for what they've done. You know, this is the thing, people. We already have the authority and the reasons to sit there to tell our government to behave itself by force, okay? And if we knew what was really all going on with our government, we would have wondered why it took us so long to frickin' do it. This Epstein list is just one of the most horrible things that these people, their secrets that they're keeping, that they're doing to the world citizen. Just one of them. And if one gets out, they'll all get out. Anyway, whatever, Trump. So you don't want our support? Good. More vets and conservatives for the military, the army that's going to be taking our country back. Because I guarantee if our military, I don't want our military to do it anyway. They're a bunch of corrupt bastards, you know, that sit in the Pentagon, and they're all brain dead and bought too. Grassroots. We need to take our country back from the grassroots. We need to start with the little guy like you. I wish all conservatives would sit there. Americans, I'm not going to just say conservative, all Americans would get here on YouTube or whatever social media, start a channel. I realize a lot of people have a hard time talking like this in front of people or in this type of setting. But if you just make one video and tell the government how you feel with, well, I agree 100% with you. So they know who supports them. But I guarantee you there'd be a lot more videos of people that did support them. And maybe that would put a little pressure on them to start behaving. But like I say, if our dollar collapses, there's going to be a lot of people hurt in this country. Okay? If we have nuclear war, there's going to be a lot of people hurt in this country. If they don't expose the real criminals in this country, well, there's going to be a lot of children that get hurt in this country. As a parent, let me ask you, who would you rather see hurt? You or your kids? Anyway, just if we don't do nothing about it, with them spending money from generations that haven't even been born yet, to sitting there using our children as, boy, that'd be wanting something, as play toys for their sick and twisted shit that they can just go down the street and pick up like it's theirs. Like I say, has the human race gone insane? Myself over my child any day. Yeah. Any parent would say that. I mean, the love you have for your children far exceeds any love than even for your spouse. Okay? That's just the way it is. I mean, it's your future. Your kids are your future. You raise them to sit there and be productive adults and moral people. So they'll raise their kids that way. And that's what keeps you alive through years and years when you're not around no more. When they hear stories about Grandpa used to taught me this and stuff, and now I'm teaching you. Anyway, we can have that no more. Since we don't live in a land of laws no more. And we don't live in a land that has lists anymore. Like I said, I made this short. It's like, well, I think the E-list was made by Joe Biden's auto pen. But nothing will be done about either one. You Democrats get duped too. You're just afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to admit it. Us conservatives got lied to, felt lied to, played. No different than the people that sat there in 2020 and 2021 and they got played. All Americans are getting played. And we're able to get played because why? If we were all just one team against them, we couldn't get played except against them. But since they got us divided into all these groups or teams that we could just compete and fight each other, well, they got it made, don't they? But we got played. You Democrats don't feel like you got played? Really, you're the party of peace, right? 250 to $300 billion to Ukraine for a war during Biden's administration, but you're the party of peace? Sounds to me like you got played. Want to say ha-ha Republicans? Say ha-ha. I'm a conservative, by the way, not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a constitutional conservative that's had enough of this shit. I want us to sit there and reinstate that Constitution and put the handcuffs on the fucking government. And definitely downsize it. We could pay off our country's debt in 10 years if we tried. Time to take it back, Tom. Am I settling? Do I need to settle down? Am I turning Alex Jones on you? I know. This is why when all this gets settled one day, or I don't know, in the next few years, if it doesn't get settled, tax billionaires, easy prey. Yeah. Okay. If we go to, I'm going to go over this again. If we get rid of the IRS, and I think you'll agree with this, Patty. If we go to get rid of the IRS completely, Social Security, and all that shit. So your pay is just between you and your boss. And their company does not ever have to deal with the IRS, have to have all those people hired and all that money it takes to deal with the IRS. Okay? And they went to a 10% sales tax all over the United States for federal tax. A 10% sales tax. So you only got taxed on the money you spent. Okay? So now we're talking about you get your whole paycheck. And then, since your company doesn't have to deal with the IRS no more and shit, your company can give you a 10% raise overnight because that will take care of 10 to 15% of the costs that they're not have to deal with the government and IRS and Medicaid and all that shit, right? So then you get that 10 to 15% raise. That takes care of the federal sales tax that you'd be paying. And then you have all that money to be paying in taxes, you can put away to retirement. Jesus, I've had jobs before where I paid $1,000 a month in federal income tax. Boy, what kind of IRA could I have for $1,000 a month? Make people responsible for their own lives. Here, you got all your money. You want to piss it away, fine. If not, but why should we give it to the government so they can piss it away? And then people like me, where I don't spend shit, my taxes are really low, like under $100 a month, my federal tax. And, somebody who spends a lot of money, well, privately owned employer. After Trump's first tax cut, I bought a ranch. I bought a penthouse on Fifth Avenue. I got a jet, nothing for employees. One bought a ranch, one bought a penthouse. See, this is another thing. We get rid of all that shit. Completely get rid of it. Get rid of the IRS completely. It was never, this country didn't need it for what, 140-something years? What the hell do we need it now for? That thing should have been abolished the day after they created it. Okay? Money, the root of all evil. I understand. This is the thing. Money is a necessary evil in today's world. And I participate in as least amount of it as possible. Okay? 1 of 5 houses, nothing. Yeah, well, this is greed. Okay? Capitalist system would work if there wasn't greed. The communist system would work if we didn't have human beings weren't lazy. This is why the communist system doesn't work, because not everybody puts forth the same effort. And that's why, our society worked better, because if you put in more effort, you got rewarded. And the ones that didn't get rewarded. And that's what made this country grow and become the mightiest the world had ever seen. The inventions that this country's come up with. But it was hijacked by a bunch of greedy ass sons of bitches. No shit. That all they do is want to take our money and pay for wars with it and stuff. People need to start realizing it's not a Democrat and Republican thing. God, this damn list, needs to wake everybody's eyes up and say, hey, we're all getting screwed. Every last one of us. Who feels represented in Congress? It's amazing. You go to Congress for 4 years, go in there, and your net worth is $100,000, and come out after 4 years, and you got a millions of dollar condo, and you just got money up the ass and property and everything. Really? But they never get audited. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, billions of dollars in cash in his apartment, but nobody knew where it came from. Anyway, if you want to support this channel, I'll never ask for money or donations to sell anything, but if you'll hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button and the bell notification, I appreciate it. Help this channel grow. I'm doing whatever I can to get the word out, especially when now while the conservative party is cracky. The Republican Party is cracky. Conservatives have had enough. Okay? But you Democrats should be happy. In a year and a half, you're going to have a Democratic Senate and Congress, House of Representatives. And in 3.5 years, you're going to have a Democratic president. Not because Republicans are going to vote for it. It's because Republicans aren't going to vote at all. Why the hell should we sit there and get a so-called conservative in there when he's going to act like a Democrat? Must act like a Democrat. At least they don't lie about what they want. Okay, if Kamala Harris would have won the presidency, she would have did exactly what she said. Both sides are starting to get corrupt. Oh, yeah. They've both been hijacked, buddy. That's what I'm saying. What Democrat would think that having an abortion van in the back of the Democratic National Convention is a good idea? I mean, I think Democrats are human beings too, right? I know there's evil people all over the world, but I know there's, the majority of the Democrats can't agree with this shit. I mean, you didn't even get to choose your nominee this time. She got appointed. What kind of shit is that? And you want to talk about democracy? That's how communism does it. They appoint people. They should have had an open convention. The hell with it. They never should have went there. They should have primaried Joe Biden. Okay, he should never ran for election again. Democrats should have primaried. But anyway, that's in the past. Now we're dealing with the future. Okay? But all I know is the Democrats can sit there and say, ha ha, Republicans, you got, ha ha, you got fooled. Yeah, well, I definitely didn't want what Kamala Harris wants. But, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? Hey, thanks for being here, Brady. I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, if you haven't hit the thumbs up or subscribe and the bell notification, I appreciate it. Anything to help this channel grow. Because everybody says, why are you on YouTube? Because I don't want to be an echo chamber. I want Democrats and liberals to realize you're in this sinking ship together. Now we all see we're in this sinking ship together. And you can hate Trump for what he's doing or whatever. Okay? I hate Trump. I don't like what Trump's doing because he's destroying the country. Destroying everything what America stands for. Truth, justice, in the American way. Truth and justice for all. I've almost gone an hour. Like I say, I can't believe Trump did this. Doesn't it seem like every president, even Joe Biden, if you're not with me, you're against me, I want nothing to do with you. Okay? I just don't understand where we became a country within 24 years of where we all thought didn't matter how different we were all together after the Twin Towers fell. And now 24 years later, all we do want to do is shoot each other. I wonder if the politicians had anything to do with that. I always say that. I wonder if the politicians had anything to do with that. Sounds to me like their plan is running full steam ahead. But once, this channel, if I get some people here, wake some people up, and they could share the videos and stuff, get people thinking, watch my shorts, get people thinking. But I guess the human race hasn't suffered enough. The average American hasn't suffered enough, okay? Anyway, I know I can see the forest through the trees, okay? And I can see that my enemy, though, my neighbor, even if he is a Democrat or a liberal, is not my enemy. He's just another person trying to deal with the fucking insane world that we live in, okay? Another person to make sure that their kids don't get taken. That type of shit. It's amazing how many people don't see it. Yeah, like that short I did. Some people don't want to see it or can't see it. Some people don't want to see it. And the rest of us prepare for what the rest of us see it, prepare for what's coming. I don't know how somebody could be so comfortable in their life. Just like in Nazi Germany. When the Russians were coming from the east, everybody knew it was coming. But they went on with their daily lives. Because we don't have to deal with it today. The longer we take to take our country back, the more entrenched these people are going to get. And like I say, they've really been emboldened. I mean, these are people that are addicted to doing this to little kids, okay? And they just got a major dose of money with the best drug that's out there and said, go for it. Nobody's going to stop you. Enjoy the pleasures of the flesh all you want. Okay? Sick fucks. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've seen the portrait, painted portrait of Bill Clinton in a red dress with heels on, sitting in a chair, but not sitting in a normal, laying over the arms of the chair, legs over one side, leaning up against the other side, with his ass in the seat of the chair. I've seen it. Now, you're going to tell me Jeffrey Epstein was all on his own? Does everybody got a short-term memory, or am I the only one that saw this shit? And I'm a nobody. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Democrats, Republicans are all sick. I mean, the first thing they must do when they get to D.C. is get kidnapped from their office the first couple of days, get thrown in bed with some minor, drugged up, right? And depict pictures taken of them. I mean, is that what's going on? No, these people are sick. So, anyway, but Trump's drawing the line. If you voted for him and you think he's lying about the E-list, well, he don't want your support no more. So, like you say, the Democrats ought to be popping their champagne corks right now. Woo! We just won the House, the Senate, and the presidency over the next 3.5 years. I don't see how they don't. People may say I'm premature about that. We'll see. We'll see what happens when the campaign ads come out. Anyway, what do you think's going to happen? Yeah, both sides are. Both sides, CEOs of these big corporations, Hollywood stars, royalty. Anyway, like I say, when the truth comes out, we'd all be sitting there. Why did we wait this long to do something? Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the live stream. Look a little bit more active. YouTube got a little bit more, let me talk a little bit more. But you say, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell notification. That's the best you can do to support the channel right now, and I appreciate it. Because, you know, we got a lot of trouble in the way. District of Columbia, it's technically not even part of the U.S. Yeah, I know it's not. That's why they were able to hold the January 6th in Washington, D.C. like they did. Any little sit there way they can use the system against the American people to either fleece us or just be mean to us, they do, okay? Pit us against each other. Anyway, like I say, this is a platform for Democrats, liberals, conservatives, Republicans, all to come to, because we all got a problem, okay? And saying, ha, 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 you voted for Trump and this is what you got. That ain't the way to solve the problem, okay? That ain't the way to solve the problem. Because your side ain't trying to make you free either. Okay, if your side was doing that to you, I'd be trying to figure out a way to make us all free. All right? I'm about the American. I don't follow no political banner. Have a good night. God bless you. I appreciate everybody being here. Like I say, I'm going to get out of here. And tomorrow night, we'll see. Like I say, I never know what my subject's going to be about because I never know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. Trump's probably going to get asked a question again and come up with some stupid defense to it. Talk about a guy who's acting guilty. No color, just people, right. Remember how we all felt on September 12th, 2001? Boy, 24 years later, what a difference, huh? Stop listening to your politician, everybody. They'll lead you astray and down the wrong path. Anyway, everybody have a great night. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I am out of here.